Hi guys, Susanna here. Well, as you can see, I have completed this piece. There's some bits and pieces that I haven't done. I'm just going to sit down and take you through it. Oh, here's a little bit. I stitched that down in the middle so that it would come down here. Actually, I'm going to get just... What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some of these pieces with a permanent pen. I don't think that one's working. Have a look what we've got to make sure that they're working. Where are we? How about that one? I'm just having a look at they're working and sort of working. Yeah, because I didn't want to stitch that, and I think everything else is pretty well right. I was going to stitch over that. I've got the thimble, and I put these there rather than on there so that they look like they're sitting next to the sewing machine. I really love how it has turned out. What else have I got? Oh, this bit here, I forgot that part of the bottle, so I stitched that up. I've done all stitching along here. What do they call it? Canvas stitching. And I, did it both ways. I saw that on Corinne's piece that she was doing, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. I like that effect. So here I just made a little collage, found a little leaf in similar colours, got the rest of this piece and just stitched that down. Really love these buttons. I wanted to do that because it sort of looked a bit grey like that. Stitch this down, and I'll explain this in a minute. I was going to go over that with a bit of black pen as well, but I don't know. I think I saw there's something nice about the vintageness of it, if you know what I mean. So that was the bit that I had in the kit originally that was going to come out here. I didn't stitch that down. I thought the black of the actual printing and the painting was enough. I still may go in and do something in those circles just to maybe hold those down a little bit, but I quite liked it. I think once again the black is okay with that part, and same here. I was going to stitch that down. I stitched around the coats. I was going to do black because on the box it's black, but I just thought it was too strong. So did around here, found this fabric. I love it, and even used like they had little bits of remnant, and I'll put that underneath there as well. So what I've done is I see this bit here, which is the bit for the other side, and because it's got the wadding and everything in it, and same with this one, it had wadding, so I cut out another piece of this quilt that I've got. That top part has already been done. I pulled it apart, took out the wadding, and then I don't know if you can stitch it, I just stitched just a running stitch because it's got the wadding in between. I was able to do it, and you couldn't see it on the other side because I was able to pinch it. So because it needed to be stitched down, and as you can see, that's these marks here from the quilt. So what I've done, because it was a bit like this, so I've actually got myself a nice spare piece. Hang on a second, show you. So I use the backing. So here's that. That's the spare piece of Cath Kidston, and I've even managed to keep the wadding, so I could probably use something with that. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that, and so I used that on the inside. What I was going to do, make a lining on the inside, but because it's already got that wadding, so I was thinking what I need to do now is I'm going to go on the sewing machine. I thought I even utilised that part because that was unpicked. I'm going to stitch again where that stitch was, and hopefully it'll line up. I'll have to do it nice and slow. So I'll stitch that down. Then I am going to stitch this down and do the, you know, stitch like that. And yeah, so it's going to be like quite a big box pouch, and because it's got the wadding and everything in the middle, it will probably take up about that much. So that'll sit on the bottom by the time I do it. I'm going to do all the stitching on the machine. I've got to go in there, and then I will come back and show you. Oh, looks like there's something on there. That looks like soap or something. Yeah, just get that off. So I will have, so when I, you know, stitch that down, and stitch this down, I'll probably, on the sides at least, I'll stitch it down, and then I'm going to do a zigzag. So if you've got an overlocker, maybe you can do yourself an overlocker stitch just on the sides. On the bottom, I will leave it for now, because I'm going to have to do the box pouch thing on the bottom. Because when it's turned inside out, you will see the raw edges on the inside, but because it's on the inside and it's already got the lining, like here you don't see it, like, you know, it's covered, but I figured the lining's already there. That's why, you know, if you've got yourself an overlocker, maybe overlock the edge. So we'll see how we go. I mean, it could go all wrong. We'll just see how we go. So I'll just pause video for now. Yeah, so this turned out, oh, I just love it. I really love it. You know, different to how I was, you know, first interpreting it. You know, nice little yo-yo, and here's like a fabrics that I stitched down. So, oh, that hurt. I'll be back. I'm just going to pause it and I'll be back. Okay, well, the moment of the truth. I zigzagged and did a straight stitch along the side. So I zigzagged first and then did a straight stitch, and then I just did a straight stitch along the bottom because we've got to turn it inside out. So we'll see how we go. I think that looks pretty good. So we'll, oh, no, we're not going to turn it inside out. See, well, it's looking pretty good though. What we got to do now is, okay, we've got the two edges together like that. So this is like giant size box pouch. So we are going to do that to both edges. And with my other ones, I did 1 centimetre, but I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit more than 1. I think we need to go 2 centimetres or a little bit bigger, because we want the bottom to be a half decent size. Now this part, I'm just assuming, is going to be pretty tricky. So make sure, see how you got the edges? I'm making sure that those bits are lining up before we sew it down. Okay, get me measurements. Now normally I do 1. I'm thinking we're probably going to go a fair bit. I reckon maybe 2. So where are we? We'll try 2. If it's not big enough, I'll do it again. I'm reckoning maybe 2.5. Yeah. Making sure that it's lining up. I can feel it underneath. Okay. Yeah, I think 2.5. Oh, it does seem like a lot. We'll go across. Now we've got to go, yeah, definitely. Is that 2.5? It is. Might be a bit much. We'll see. Maybe we will do 2. coming across just a bit over. Okay, so what is that? Yeah, just a tad over 2. Oh yeah, 2.5, pretty much. So that's going to be interesting to see how far across that is. Okay, so what I might do is I might pin it right on the line where we're going to sew, and do 2.5 on that side. Okay. Yep. Making sure that these bits are lined up. Now this is the trickiest part of the whole project. Okay, because you want it to line up, you want it to look half decent. Okay, so we'll do 2.5. It's a fair bit, but it is a bigger box. Okay, now so if we come in, turn it inside out, going like that, we'll just manage to save our teacup. Go like that. Yeah, pretty good on that side. Oh, just missed this. Oh, I've got to be really careful. There's a button there. So you've got to make sure that they're lined up pretty well. Now, is that not too bad that side? Probably a little high, so maybe we might do 2 inches. See, this is why it pays to check. I think it's a little high. Thought it looked a little big, and that is done with you know, one of those markers. So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe just 2. So we'll get it from the point, go down, yeah, where I put it. Okay. It's pretty much right. Now we'll have a look again. Okay, because it's a you know, once I give it a bit of an iron, that'll come off. It's all good. Okay, try again on that side. Ugh. It did seem like it was a lot. Okay, we'll do 2. Okay, try again. It's amazing just the small amount. So 1 on the on these, and you know, you don't think it's much, but it's quite a bit. Okay, let's try, take 2. Let's see how we're faring. When it's a project like this, you really do want to, you know, check twice. Yeah, I think that is better. Yeah, that's what I wanted. that, you know, you could just see that. And so that's where I reckon that would be. Yep, cool. Well, that's going to fit plenty of my sari silks, and see how on the inside it's, you know, like it, yes, it's a bit of a rough edge, and the same with that, but it's on the inside and you won't see it onto the bottom. So this is going to be my very big box pouch, but I'm also thinking, because it is so big, I may even put some handles on it, and I can probably use it like a bag. So I do have these U-Butte handles. Yeah, so that's something that I could look into later on. I think I will, because I was planning to make it into a bag, and I could find some of these. I've got that, you know, leftover strappy bits from when I did this, so you know, I could probably make a strap or a handle out of that. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, well, I'll stop it again, and I will be back once I've sewn it. Okay, back again, stitch down. I mean, I'm happy with how that bottom is. I don't care, you don't see the bottom of it. The side, it's a little bit neater. Probably, you know, just get rid of some of these hairy bits. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, wait a minute, we'll do the same on the other side. This is a big pair of scissors. I think it looks all right. Now, clean up, and then I'm going to turn them inside out. I've got these handles that I was going to use for something else. I reckon I might even use it for this. Okay. We're going to... Oh, see, look at that. Looks great. Nice join there. And then a nice join here, which is good. Okay, and we can still manage to see our embroidery, which is what I want. So cool. I am pretty happy with that. I think I will. I could probably turn that into a bag, you know. So I like it. I've used my bits and pieces. Now, if you can have a look on the inside, I think it looks all right, because you don't really see it. And the only reason why I did it is because it was already lined, it, you know. So the sides and the bottom are a bit raw edgy, but honestly, now I've got all these sari silks that I have gotten, and I'm getting a few more. I've got some around. These are, I've got more in a cupboard somewhere, but I'll probably be putting them all together, and they're quite big. I'll wind this one up. There we go. Look at this, isn't it gorgeous? That from the Debbie's Doll's House Vintage. I might just chuck that in there as well. See? And I'm getting some more from Purveyor. And I think I've got some more laying around somewhere. That I am going to put that in there too. I've got it in another little cupboard, so perfect bag for that. I love it. So they don't have to be used just for pouches. You can use them to make bags as well. So really, really, really happy with how this has turned out. Yeah, back in the day when I made pouch bags, I would often do a box pouch bag. So this is the bits that I cut off, which has got lining on both sides. Yeah, you could probably, if you really wanted to, pull them apart, and you've got yourself, because this is fairly big size, little squares of Cath Kidston. You know, so you could probably save those bits if you wanted to. So I'm just wondering whether these would be big enough if I folded them in half, did that. Hang on a minute. Just going to fold these in half. I can sew at 9 and do all that kind of stuff. You probably could make yourself a bag. I think it probably would work, because I've got plenty of this fabric left over. And then if you don't like the look of this, did I cut it on a bit of an angle? I think I did. You cut it on a bit of an angle so it's not as obvious sticking out. You could possibly even put handles, like make this bigger, join it with another piece and have a handle sitting in there like that, so that sort of covers it. Yeah, hang a minute, I'll just show you. I probably, if I did make this into a handle, I would put wadding in between to make it a little bit, you know, a little bit stiffer and a bit more structure. But we are just going to see if it'll work. Just basic little pins, and probably make the handle a little bit longer. Then we go like this. Probably even stick a button in there and make it into a feature. So yeah, I'd probably put some wadding in between, and then I'd stitch back and forth. You know what, I think I'm going to do this. I think it is cute, because I did want to make it into a bag. Look at that. I think it's not bad. It's all you need. And then you could probably take it with you, you know, to places to do your stitching, you know, sewing bag. If you didn't want it to sort of open like that, you could have one where you have handles either side, so it can, you know, like you've got more of a grip, or you can do a button in between. Look at the size of this baby. That's massive. You know, do a button in between to hold it together, and that can be a carry bag for all your bits and pieces. Okay guys, well, I am extremely happy with how this has turned out, and finally got it finished. I'm so glad that it's been done, and I really love the way that it's turned out, and I think it's a bit of, was it serendipity that it took so long to do it, because you know, I added all these bits and pieces which I really love, and changed the layout and made it into something a bit more practical that I could probably take along with me to, you know, craft groups. So I think I will put a handle of some sort on there, and maybe even put a button or a clip or something there that will hold everything in. Probably even put buttons on the sides, but see, it's big enough to, if you want, oh sorry guys, it would fit that. Take out the oh, that's shocking, and I just, hopefully, you know, and not seasick, take out the sari silk. I'll just sort of skip it over to the side. I think it would definitely fit that. That's what I base a lot of my projects on. There you go. Fits that. Is how I'm gonna, you know, take this with me whenever I go anywhere. Okay guys, well, thank you very much for watching. Sorry about the knocking of it, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Okay, thanks for watching, and thank you for joining me in this project, which is being really long. I still have got quite a few of these in my store, so go and grab yourself one and turn it into a bag, wall hanging, quilt, whatever you want. You know, the patterns there. So okay, thanks for watching. Bye.